Hello, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, haven't done this in a while, so let's see if everything still works correctly. And we'll be having a slight change in what we do. So for a change, I'll try to get out some dev content, which I haven't done in a long while. And today I'll start off with one of my pet projects that was in development very briefly. So, and it's sort of a game that probably the only game that I really enjoyed playing on a mobile device, which is, let me just see if I do this correctly now. There we go. Oops. I'm rusty. I'm very, very rusty. As you can see. I'll try to do it like this. There we go. Now we're talking. Everything's visible again. All right, so the game is 2048. It's inspired by 2048, and currently the only features implemented are the core of 2048 or 2048 game. I'll go through what I've done so far, how I've done it, what I've struggled with, and how I resolved it, and what are my future plans. So, first off, generally this is planned to be like an overlay above, or using the core of 2048, I wanted to develop a mini RPG-like system or something of the sort, where you collect points using 2048 system, and then you can spend those points on power-ups or buying some sort of card ability system, and then using them in order to progress in the game. So like a split type of progression where 2048 is basically used as your resource gathering mechanism. I really liked it because once you get a hang of it, you can play 2048 really quickly. So, and of course, what I haven't thought of so far is the ability to reset and adapt that that resource system. So I first needed to understand how 2048 works and how to have it all, you know, come dynamically, and how can I approach it better. And yeah, you'll see what I'm talking about. And you'll notice that the UI for my project is, I'm gonna say it outright, it's extremely simplistic for its implementation. So don't expect too much in the UI department. Considering that this game is pretty much all UI, you know, that may come across as majority of the game, but there are systems in place that kind of alleviate that simplicity. And I intentionally made it a little bit more complex when it comes to systems, because I wanted the whole game to be, or the systems of it to be, kind of asynchronous. So yeah, let's go through one playthrough of the game, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So if we go ahead and play this, what we do have, and let me, perhaps I can maximize this. There we go. Now we do have like the profiles that you can create. And once you create a profile, you can write a name. Now that doesn't work correctly for whatever reason. Something must have broke. I did upgrade the version. Or no, I know what it is. I know what it is. Let's not use test. That's thing number one. And number two, I think the test is the problem because there was already tests and my database thing isn't so great. So for now, I'm gonna just let's create something I haven't created thus far. I'm gonna name it same thing as my paladin in World of Warcraft. So it did break. Okay, good. We have something to do. So our first task will be to fix this, whatever broke during the upgrade. And meanwhile, we can just use one of these default ones to play. So what it does, it sets up your UI and loads up your two starting nodes, blocks. And then what you can do is you can navigate. Now you can't see me pressing it, but I can I'm set up it so that it uses WASD for simplicity's sake. But as you can see, you can go pretty fast. Now this is completely senseless and it relies on luck. But you know, once you get a hang of it, you could go quite quickly and make some decent progress in terms of gathering your points or your score in this case. Now, what I don't have yet is I don't have the ability to stop the game. There is no menu, so that's something that needs to be done. And even the settings menu is just set up right now, so I can just open it. There's nothing there. And I'm using just a very, very simple asset for the UI. You've probably seen this one a million times. I've used it even before for some of my other projects. So for now, let's see what's wrong, and let's see what's wrong with our database. I'm going to say it outright. I'm just using a JSON file for this database, so it's nothing super useful or super smart. And there are some other assets that I'm using, like Feel and Game Event Hub. I played around with Game Event Hub. It's really, really good. So you don't have to build your own event system. I've built my own event system based off of scriptable objects. It's fine, but at certain point, as your project grows, you'll have so many scriptable objects, which is not a problem. But if you're a solo game dev, you're going to have issues creating those. And then you have to build a manager for them. You know, it blows out of proportion. And this asset simply does it in a more sensible way. So instead of re-implementing what was already built, I just and I highly recommend Criminal Makers Game Event Hub. It's great. I'm not gonna say anything about More Mountains Feel asset. It's completely insane how good it is. Yeah, so I'll go through my code instead of praising assets. So let's try and see how this works. So there are a few things. One is the game repository, which I just abstracted so I could use it. And this is just a JSON game repository, which implements the interface. And it basically stores information in game data.json file. So if I navigate to my solution, which I think I can do from here. There we go. And I forgot which folder. It was some time ago. Let's see, persistent data path should be... there we go. So the persistent data path is located in the game directory once it's built. And I forgot where that was, so just give me a moment. I'm gonna remember. Or I'm gonna Google it. But I think it was... oh, I haven't dealt with this in a while, so it should be here. I don't think it's in bin and objects. Let's just Google this and stop pretending to be too smart. So let's try this. So what is persistent data path Unity Windows? There you go. Come on, Chrome, you can do this. Persistent data path Unity Windows. There we go. There's a question. I know I messed with that folder before and the file. We're gonna see if the file got corrupted or anything else has happened. It could be due to stream that this is working slower, but it shouldn't be the problem. So library, application support. So it should be in the library. I was in the right track. Not here. There's no application support. Maybe I misread that. Let's see. Let's see. We have no, okay. Interesting. All right, let's see. I know why I'm complicating this for myself. What I should have done is basically this. Debug, log, file path. This is your file path. There you go. Didn't need to Google that. So let's see. Where are we at? Now, once we play this, the debug console should just log out. So this is, yeah, this seems more reasonable. I'm not sure if the slash is the problem here. All right, let's see. So game data JSON in my local low. Whoops. Double click that one. All right, let's see. So we should go to see users, me, app data, local low, and then This is what I named the organization, the game, and there we go. Now we can open this with Visual Studio Code. Because I like Visual Studio Code. Sorry about that. Not sorry, really. There you go. So yeah, we had a test already. And it picked up some weird things. And we have Lorithar. But when it was reading it, it read it wrong. So let's just clean that up. And leave this open for now. And then we can check this error here. And see what it does. So it breaks when it reaches the profile. Alright. Breaks when it reaches the profile. Maybe I should zoom this in a little bit, right? So it's a little bit clearer on stream as well. So it breaks when it reaches this profile, this loop here. So as I said, my UI skills aren't that great. So what I do is, if I've set the prefab, I destroy all child objects in the profile, which are considered to be loaded profiles. And then for each profile that I've loaded from the database, I instantiate a profile prefab and nest it there as child with all its information. So we're going to debug this part and see what's up. So I'm going to attach to Unity. So it gets... so you don't have to really run this in order to attach, since you're attaching to the instance of Unity itself. And then once you play it, it will actually trigger everything and stop. And since these are loaded right at start, it should be fine. So what we can check if instance is great, it is, since this is a singleton. I can explain what singleton is. And then, yeah, we have our game data, and there are 2 profiles loaded, and they are fine. So since there are no nested profiles right now, there's nothing to destroy. We create an object. We set the profile picture as an image, and then we initialize the object from the data. And this initialize method is something I've created in the prefab itself in order to set its information, which is basically the sprite and all of that. And then we load these 2 profiles, and that's that. And then the game works. So the error seems to happen when we create the profile. For creation of the profile, when we click this button, we pop up a create profile panel. So this panel will become visible when we click this, as you can see. And what it does, it uses Profile Creation Manager. So this one. And now it's have all of those, like input, which picture do you want? It stores pictures also in this scriptable object, so it gets reference. I can't really remember why I did that specifically. I think there was something about references that I couldn't store something somewhere, so I've used a scriptable object just to to make information available. I'm not sure why I just didn't use JSON, but I think I remember, because I wanted to have a picture a set of default pictures available from which you can choose. And then instead of re-uploading and uploading, I just wanted to reference the index of the picture that you have selected for yourself and store that instead of managing storage for the image itself and then path to the image and stuff like that. So whenever I'm storing profile information, I'm just referring to which index within the list of the pictures you have chosen. I think that was the reason why. So what I do here is I'm picking up an event from the game event hub. When the picture is selected, I actually store that information, which picture and how it should handle it. And then for submit, I raise an event, which is profile creation requested event, which in turn is handled by the profile manager. So what we need to do is find this event here. There we go. And there is already a debug there. So what it will do, it will pick up the information from the event and it will add it to the user profiles immediately, and it will save it in the game repository. It will also raise a profile created event, which is picked up by the same class for now, which is a cache profiles, which loads the data from the game repository, and then I closed that by accident. Let me open it up again, which is profile manager. There we go. And then created. There we go. And then it shows profiles, which again, it's what we just debugged. It goes through everything and shows them again. So it handles the UI part of it. All right. So I don't see why this would break, unless that JSON file wasn't broken and we just fixed it. And I don't get what was the null exception. There's no null exception right now, so we might have fixed it. So there is also an indication that I should be careful when I'm creating a profile. We should check if that profile already exists and not allow creation. But let's first try to create another profile. Let's call it another. And put a breakpoint. There's already a breakpoint, right? In the create on profile creation requested event. So it will raise an event and we'll end up here. Actually, let's I have to debug this. I think that maybe it broke because I didn't select an image. Let's confirm that actually. Maybe that was the case. So I'm not going to create an image again. And we're going to debug what happened there. And I'm going to click OK. And then my sprite name will be null. And then I'm gonna get added to this, and I'm gonna publish this event, which is on profile created. And then I'm gonna cache the information for the game data, and my profile will be there. It's another, and profile picture doesn't exist, which is expected. And yeah, let's see what happens from here on out. We destroy 2 objects that exist and we instantiate 3, but this one or the third one will be null. right? Well, not null, rather an empty string, which might cause an issue with it. So let's see. So here is an empty one. So first the default, it goes to default, which is null. So image is null. And I'm trying to read an image of an image, which will cause it to break. So I haven't handled this part very well. So we can fix that right away. Let's stop it here. What we can do is we can tackle this as such, and in the initialize method, this sprite will be null, and you can just ask if it's null, don't set it, right? Skip that part, or we can set a default image, not here, rather before. So when you're creating your profile, I think that's better. So this is kept clean. So here, if the image is null, I'm going to pre-select your image for you. Let's do that. So we don't have to do a dirty little fix like this. So if your image is null, I'm going to go to profile pictures. And I'm going to go to pictures, and I'm going to get a first one, and that will be the image. But let's check if we have in that scriptable object, if we do have, a, and stop this. Where did I put it? Resources? No. No, not plugins. Game settings, profile pictures. There we go. We do have a default one. All right. So we can just do it like this. We get first or default, or ideally we just get first, since we would expect this to break, for now at least, if the name is default. And that'll be our default picture if you haven't selected one. So we've made sure that there's that. But that's when you're creating it, which means our data already got corrupted, which we'll see here. Yep. So if we put default here, will we fix it? Now the reason why I'm fixing it like this right now is I don't expect new accounts to be created in such a way. There we go. That was the reason. That was the reason. So it was the image. Perfect. And now when we play as this account, if we get a high score of some sort, let's just do it quickly. So this star here represents a new high score for now. Would be interesting if I was just spamming it like this and, you know, get the larger score. There we go. So once the game is over, you can redo or you can stop. Let's just stop, and it saved it. So it was the image that was the problem. That's perfect. Now let's see. So this is the default character, and this is the other character. But I'm wondering why here it shows just one character. That's something that's But if I go in and play with this, it shows correct one. Which means that my sprite loading for this component isn't working correctly. Am I storing it correctly? So profile picture. All right. Seems like I am. Then it could be an issue. Let's see. When we generate this, go back to scene, and then we can see one profile, character background, and the mask, and the image character. So I don't actually edit this part. That's the problem. So I am setting up the image here, but I'm not setting it to the image character. I haven't really referenced this inside of here. I did actually, did I? Image character. That is interesting. Am I not setting it correctly? So profile picture. Interesting. Let's see. Perhaps sprite is not sufficient. I would guess it was. We'll see. Where else did I put that? Profile picture selector, I think. Yeah. So what I did there was as I said, I stored which image it's using, and then when I was loading it, I didn't load an image. I did, but I didn't pass it through a parameter. I've used a I used a reference from the scriptable object. So I messed up somewhere around there. Let's see where. Mm-hmm. So the profile picture past is that one. Is that correct? Let's save this. I want to pin it. Let's just check if what we're passing here is correct. Or are we... Oh, I see the problem. Don't code under assumptions. Read your code. Self-introduced bugs are a thing. There you go. I got it. It was super simple, actually. Okay. So another thing is when I'm selecting this, unless I have a selected profile, I don't want these two buttons to appear. So I just want this one to exist. And there is a way for this to be managed, since you may have noticed on profile display, when we trigger on click and we mark a profile, then on profile marked, we set it as active, so it knows which one's active. And then we point the marker. So what we can do is we can listen to this event elsewhere, and then when a profile is marked, we can just trigger. Even if we have duplicate events later, it will just be more of the same. It's not an expensive operation, so we have to manage it. So let's see what we have. Will it be... I think it will be a profile manager again. But let's not jump to conclusions. We have add profile handler, which is fine. I don't want that. I want something more high level. Which, it's going to be profile manager. For now, I think it's our all manager, since game manager is for the game logic itself, not for entire game. So we put it here. There's already too much stuff in this thing. Not too happy about that part, but yeah. We're gonna write it off to being an indie dev. So if we do this, and do we already have this event here actually? Yeah, we do. So we can just add it without logic. So here, since we're selecting a profile, what we can do is we can access our remove profile and review profile buttons. Remove profile panel, that already exists. That's perfect. What we need to add is a view profile. So let's add that. Did we handle it as game object? Yes, we did. So public game object, view profile panel, and then on marked event, when you have marked it, oh, we are already setting this to active. Huh. So why is it active? Did I accidentally enable it at the start of the game? Yeah, I think that's the case. So I need to disable these two. And now when we start the game and select one, you have to add your references. So two things: read your code as you write it, and add your references. Let's see. So in Profile Manager, there should be a view profile now here, and we connect that. Now it should work. There you go. Perfect. A little bit of UX, right? Okay. Almost playable, right? Now the idea is once the game starts, this isn't so big. It should be a little bit smaller. But I think that would require a lot of, well, not really. I think I already have a kind of a setup for this. Let me just check it. But I think there should be a configuration, yeah. So padding size, tile size, and how many, how large the grid is. So we make that smaller and move it down. The points should be also smaller and somewhere on the side. You know what? Let's try it like this. We don't need these windows. Fix it without Google. And go to Excalidraw. And let's move that out of the way. And let's try it like this. Let's draw some stuff. So we have our UI. We have our grid here. And we're gonna, yeah, let's try it like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Then our point system would show up here. Or something like that. Our profile picture or our character image would show up here. Something like that. With our name here, similar to how it is now. And then we would have more playable area in this space here. With more playable area, I mean for the... I don't like it. Just I did save a reference from a screenshot on my phone. Let's just find it. Yeah, I think that's it. The only thing that was different is my points don't really need to be numerated. It can be like a bar, which might be better. The name can be wherever. Then we can increase this so-called playable area and have our profile be there. And then the name can be also here. And then whatever it is that we're fighting. Let's use orange, or sorry, purple colors. Can be here, like your adversary, and then your abilities can be positioned around here. And they can be like cards, you draw them or not. And then you can cast them rather than purchase them. And when you swipe right or right click on them, if you're playing on, well, on PC, I would imagine a different kind of UI. You would swipe right to exchange it. Exchange should be free, but I'm not sure if I want to introduce time component to some of the bosses or encounters. We'll see. Something of the sort. Like this is the initial design. So we can make that happen, I think. So if I go to a different scene, so this is the main menu and the main game scene, this one. But everything is auto-generated. So the blocks, the grid, everything is just comes automatically, and the grid is here. So what I want to do is move the grid down. Actually, I have to move the whole thing, like these three, down together. And then score frame, I'll leave it for now since bar requires more meddling. So I can just move it like this. And that's fine. And then profile display. So the name score. So the label will go there instead of there. We're gonna move, not like that. We're gonna move the whole panel here. And then the name we move there. So this is with height, but this trying to figure out why is this turned on this side. I forgot why. Yeah, let's see if this still works when we. So I have to go back to the menu since profile manager is still required. And it doesn't get instantiated there. And go start. Yeah, this is too big, but it works. So the whole functionality is still fine. Another score. That's perfect. So I have to remove the score label. Make this smaller. Move this up a little bit. It should be a sufficient playing area. Even the score can be... Nah, I don't like it. Stop. Let's just do that for now. And then... we'll see. I also want to play some games. For now, let's deal with this part. So my score frame should go up a little bit, around there. And I'm gonna remove the label. And the value. What I want to do is make it right. Alignment. And then move the entire profile up. Go. And then move the name a little bit more up, a little bit more right. And let's try it now. There you go. Ah, missed by a little. Although I don't necessarily think I've missed, I think this needs to be smaller. And this needs to be smaller. The reference size might remain like that. But it still works, which is perfect. Means that our code is not complete spaghetti. Now, in terms of logic for the game itself, there is start game manager, which prepares everything and the transitions. And then we have a definition of a numbered block, which is the block that moves. And it has several events on move initiated. So once it receives information where it should move, it gets all the movement data from the event and does the transitions themselves. It uses .ween to move that, and it resolves it by playing feedback from the feel asset. Yeah. So it has an enumerator which handles merges. It bases off of a theme. So ideally what I want to have is a set of themes, like UI themes and text and everything, so that once your theme is set, when you merge blocks, you would have a certain type of animation, or without an animation if the themes allow for that, and stuff like that. So this is like a domain of a numbered block, what it does and how it handles it. And we'll go to where these events originate. So once you want to move the block, who says move these specific blocks and under what conditions? So for that, we have to go into the game manager. And this is the brains of the entire 2040 game, which sets the grid. It has, if movement is enabled or not, it has theme. It knows what to generate. It has, prefabs which to use, where to put the grid, a dictionary of tiles, or well, not really a dictionary, but you know what I mean. It's a matrix. And then it has a dictionary, a matrix of blocks. And then, a variety of states and everything else that's needed. And of course, a position service, which literally just converts game position into grid position. So if you're on 0, 0, it knows where in the UI grid is that, so it knows how to translate it. And then this is, for now, how I'm handling the input. I want to use the new input system from Unity, and I will set that up so we can use swipes and other keyboard binds and all of that stuff. And of course, we have, for a PC, I will have to implement a keybind system, at least a basic one. And then we spawn the grid. We check all of the necessary information about the grid, so we don't spawn numbered block in the same tile, all of that. And then we enable movement once that is done. So you don't, when it's loading, you don't, click and you accidentally move something. This is how we spawn the block. So we want to spawn the block every time a movement has been made, but only under a specific set of circumstances. So you have to track where the blocks already exist, which block exists, which block are we spawning, and we want to have a range between, for example, we spawn 2, 4, 8, and 16, but we're gonna, offset 2s as, you move past. For example, if you spawn a block that's 4096, you don't need 2s anymore. But as I said, that's very configurable and doesn't really matter for now. When we go into optimizing the gameplay and projecting how long does each round last, then we can go into optimization for the game mechanics. Now this is a theme. It has a default theme. So if you don't have a theme set, it will, fall back to default. And then it will add your block into a specific position in the block matrix. And it will log that. So once your block move is requested, it will check which direction, and this is what I've struggled the most, which is in the end I had to create a separate method for each of the movement directions, because I'm going to be honest, I struggled with that math quite a bit. It wasn't even fun at some point. But lastly, I managed to do it, and I can't really remember the specifics, but in the end, all the logic has been within. First, we check the alt positions, then we loop through all of them, and if it's merged, then or if it has merged this turn, then we don't want to remerge it, so you don't have, for example, 8 4 4 2 2, and you merge it down, then you have merge conflicts within your so you want to have a specific order in merging, but before you set the order and priority, you have to have that how should I put it, basically sequential logic, which ones can be merged and which ones shouldn't. And then this is just looping through, setting the positions, and we do that for each direction. For whatever reason, when I try to implement this in one method with, switches, it just didn't work. So in the end, I separated it. And then on movement finished, we want to go all through the blocks, see what's merged, reset the states, spawn a new block, and then I forgot what this part does, to be honest. So on empty tiles, we do some cleanup or something. I'm gonna be honest, I have no clue what this part is. And it says here, detect if there are any empty spaces, and if there aren't any empty spaces, there are any adjacent blocks with the same values. Wait. I forgot. When did I build this? Did they have the date? No, no get. Obviously. Well, let's get. Yeah, I have no clue why I did that, but I'm sure there's a reason. I'm gonna repeat myself. This class is the brains of the operation, and it's not a good brain. That's definitely not. Oops. Cut-ons. Yeah, I'm gonna stop here for now with this. There's some progress made. I do want to think about this part and how we can add multiple modes of gameplay. So what I want to avoid is having just this, and someone who wants to play just 2048 and likes the look and feel of the app, they can. Also another thing I want to write down, and I know this is scope creep, but achievements. I would like to add achievements. So let's try to add achievements next time. I think that should be a predecessor to the advanced mode. Yeah, achievements and notes. This we need that now. So let me just close all of this up. See how all of that works out. So what should I play? I haven't tanked in a while. Yeah, might get to tank some 12s or 10s to get into the groove. See if I can still do it. So see if I can get a better. There we go. So because I like game music, I'm gonna turn off the background music. And let's see if we can rename the stream. Is it possible on YouTube? Not sure. Might not be able to change that. That's fine. That's fine. Let's just see if we can still manage tanking. right. It was I was using the collector's bounty to get some transmogs mounts. So after 15 years trying, and I was a Kingslayer back in the Wrath of the Lich King. I finally gotten a hold of my favorite mount. It's invincible. Finally. I think it was well deserved. Yeah, let's switch back to tanking. I do have a delve to do. Finish up the weekly. Yeah. Where's my gear? This one. This one. There you go. I still like this transmog. I haven't gotten sick of it yet. We're gonna run with that one. Oh, there's... Oh, mount. Oh, that's lovely. Is there anything fun to pick up here to match that mount? So there's a purple one. I don't like purple one. But this green sword will fit well. Is there a shield? I'm gonna pick these two up just in case there's a shield. One quivers, blah blah blah. I'm gonna pick this one up just to troll my friends. I hate these kind of transmogs. Which means, of course, that we have to do it, right? Oh. So, how much points did we spend? Oh, we can actually pick this one up as well. Yeah, let's pick.
Come back again.
Perfect. Might change it into that green Forsaken-y build. What do I have from dungeons? 13 Motherload. Hell no! I'm not doing that one. Forget about Motherload. Let's try a Floodgate 12. That's actually good. I like Floodgate. Let's try a Floodgate. Almost up that type that correct. Let's see. We can port the Floodgate. You know what, actually, let's fly. There's no one in the friend list. Favorites, the game. I think they'll all be there later. So I embarrass myself only in front of bugs. The mage is there too. Let's see.
We've got another incursion, and we need some.
Oh, we're running the
I know
ultra
this.
meta Boomkin, an arcane mage, an unholy death knight. Is he unholy? No, he's frost. And now get us a shaman, that's fine. Let's summon them. Okay, so what I do here is I go straight down over there and pick them up, gather all of them, and then we drop down instead of going all the way around. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And my UI is currently very low on add-ons. I know there's quite a few of them here. Let me drink my drink, dude. Yeah, should be fine. Drop down from here, go behind. Gather these up, go on a horse, drop a defensive so we don't die immediately. Pop everything and then just beat them up. Now we have to keep our stacks together. I forgot to turn off the add-on for numbers. We want to move. Keep the stacks up. Keep the stacks up. Okay. Let's see. Now we want to gather these guys and these guys. Get the defensive up. And now go. Pop them all up. And now get it rolling. As before. Keep interrupting, keep our stacks up. I'm gonna save my defense, sorry, not defensive, my Avenging Wrath for the next group. I want to clear these so we can check this off and let's go. I know what's up. These guys are experienced. Let's gather all of them. Now we've interrupted them. We're gonna gather them all up. And beat the shit out of him. Mage popped off. That's good. Good job, Mage. One more interrupt. Save the defensive. Stun this guy. And go. Now the defensive. Get aggro back. We should be on time for the boss to come our way. I was late for that interrupt a little bit. I'm rusty. There we go. We're on time. Perfect. No defensive on this one. Defensive on this one. Yeah, that's good. Latent stacks. Now move there. Prepare for the next phase. See if we have to shield everyone. Anyone actually with spell warding. Ideally, we want to save spell warding. Prepare. Nuke. Good. Good. Nuke again. Let them move, then move out. Perfect interrupt, good job. We defense this. He did it. Move out. Now beat it. We saved spell warding for the blood warp. Should be fine just to nuke the boss here. We're gonna start moving towards the next group. And Sir Mana is good. We're good here. We want these two. Defensives. Blood warp on mage. Save mage from blood warp. Right within and druid. Stop that. Save the druid. On this guy. There we go. Easy. Now we mount up. All our cooldowns should be back up while we stop for the next group. Interrupt this guy. Get them. Now prepare. Get them all together. Interrupt. Interrupt. Oh. I'm short on interrupt. I was late there. And they're dead. It's fine. It's a good group. Now we're gonna jump. Now this part I really hate, because I have to get just this group. Because of the route from this. Because people can't really handle if I pull them up. But for pugs, this is much safer. Let's see. We're good. We're fine. This don't... Even if they pull behind, shouldn't be too big of a problem. But I trust them. They seem like a well-rounded group. I messed that up. The numbers are really messing with my head. Don't really have time now to disable them. Gotcha. Get the druid up. So now I want to put one defensive here just for this first wall up, and then we position them well, and now we just have to track where the bombs are. So I want to put him here so people have most options for running through the bombs. Now we'll tackle this bomb and let the... Yeah, very good. We're good. We're good. Perfect. They're about equal in health. Everything's fine. Let's go. Chase the quick fuse. Now... There we go. See, they could have cleared all of it almost. And now I just back with this one bomb and got the boss back in this place. Lovely. My damage output in this boss isn't so great, but yeah, we'll put it here. Perfect. I'm gonna shoot the cannon. There we go. Now, I would usually just pull all of these together. But since, even if it's a good group, since it's a pug, I'm gonna play it safe. We're gonna kite them towards... so the bombs don't blow them up. That knight is really, you know, counting his blessings there. Now we want damage output here. Let's try this. Good job, more control. No, I'm out of interrupts. We have one major one coming now. Now I want to use a major defensive here because these first claws are insane. And now we go left, as I've written. Now this is a good position for us, so we can avoid all of them. Now we just have to go back a bit. We weren't in sync there, but that's fine. Mistimed my okay, so move, okay, I watched you. That was close. That was fine. Come on, give me my... The druid and I really aren't in sync. Keep going the opposite way. I think he noticed me pulling back. Lovely. It's a good grip. Hit the ball. Lovely. Now we're gonna move away so he doesn't kill us. I'm gonna save some of my defensives now. Might save a druid. Okay. So I judge this one, I interrupt this one, and bring them all closer. Now we get this guy. And we pop off. The new guys incoming. I want to judge, then interrupt. Then, yeah. My bad there. Now we can drag this guy with us. And I can go. While they are also close. Get some aggro here. And then move. Interrupt the first guy. Wait for them to get together. Get them all. Oh god, no. These numbers. Only saving my interrupts there, which I... Oh, sorry, not interrupts, defensives. I want them to go inside. Okay. Well, I want to put him here, just so when they spawn, I can go back like that, and I just go back here. There we go. Yep.
Done, mortal.
It should be fine. Was the +2 at least? Yeah, it was a +2. I have to notice that I didn't really use Divine Shield here, which I probably should have, just to get more output in certain areas. Oh, we just got praised for tanking. There you go. We'll accept, friend request. Lovely. You get praised every day. Just count our blessings. I guess that's that for now. I'm gonna wait for friends to come online and probably play with them. I think this was the only dungeon I did this week. Maybe 2. Yeah, 2. So might do some alts later. Yep, I think that's that. I hope the stream was smooth. I'll check that later. Yeah. Thanks. Bye-bye.